Hi guys, welcome back to the Main Road Expedition. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have our first game in our new league campaign in the Premier Division of the North West Counties League. We're at home against Atherton LR, and we're going to have a look at the transfers that we've managed to do so far. There's a lot going on still in the way of transfers at the moment. We've managed to not necessarily improve the first team squad, but we have helped our strength in depth a bit. But we have received a couple of relatively, for our club size, big offers for a couple of our star players, and they could be leaving. It's up to them basically as to whether they leave or not. But we'll just have the one game today, obviously with the transfer roundup happening as well. So far, um, we are going to be going through quite a bit. In terms of the actual league itself, the season preview has us as favourites for promotion again. Bit of a surprise in my opinion, but we've had quite a good pre-season. All of the core of the squad have remained for now, of course. One or two could be leaving, which would be unfortunate, but it could still happen. Joe Collins is one of those, unfortunately, but he's actually one of the best players in the league at the moment. I'm hoping he'll stay, but at the same time, the financial gain that we could get from him leaving would certainly be a big positive. So, in terms of the squad itself, we've ended up with a squad of around 22 players at the moment. As you can see, Collins could be leaving for around £17,000. With extra bits and pieces added on top of that, the bid is in and around 25,000. And Willis Furtado as well, as from the same team, Falmouth Town, they've offered £20,000 for him as well. He's only worth between 1.5 and 3.5 thousand, but they've come in with a big offer for him, and it'd be devastating to see both of these players go, to be honest. They've been very strong players for us, and we do want to keep them. But at this moment in time, offering new contracts is a bit premature, in my opinion. Um, and obviously, they could end up leaving, but it would be an extra £40,000 into the bank, and we've just about got enough cover. We are trying to get a couple of defensive players in anyway, but we've really struggled to find first team quality so far. Um, and it's just been a case of building up a little bit, just to back up players really. So as you can see, we've done okay so far. We've brought in 8 new signings at the moment. Um, Potential of another loan deal coming in still, and we're hoping for a permanent deal also at the moment. Aaron Davis we brought in as our substitute goalkeeper. He's only 2-star current ability. He's still got the potential to be a good player. His communication and commanding of the penalty area isn't great, but the rest of his attributes are reasonable. But he's quite a determined character as well, so hopefully he will develop. If I mean, if this money comes in and goes into the bank, we could have the potential of expanding some training facilities. Just as an example, and we do need to build the club up a little bit now. Um, but I think he is a solid backup for us. Josh King Phillips, we managed to bring in as a left winger, 2.5-star of current ability with that potential. He's a decent dribbler, very determined character again, decent amount of pace as well. And I think again at 18 years of age, he could be another good option for us. He is on a little bit more money than I wanted him to be, but again, he's come from Championship/League One side Blackpool, so yes, he's not played for them, but he has probably played. Yeah, he's played non-competitive fixtures for them, and he's not done too badly. Um, but he's a player that I think we can certainly make use of. Just going back to the goalkeeper we brought in, he was formerly of Port Vale in League One and League Two. Played again a lot of non-competitive fixtures, quite regularly, in fact. So he does have some game time under his belt. We've managed to bring in a new striker, Josh Iheanacho. He's actually out injured at the moment, which is unfortunate, with a calf strain picked up in training. Again, very determined character. He's not the quickest, but again, he's not too bad. Very good fitness-wise, a good finisher with a good solid first touch and a good header of the ball as well. And again, I think he will certainly develop into a good player. Again, only 18. Played regularly for Oxford's under 18 side. 2 goals um, in his second season, 4 goals in his first. He's not been an out and out goal scorer, but he has shown a little bit of potential in there. Hopefully, he can come good for us. Lloyd Hill, really good left back in my opinion. 3.5 star of current ability. We've managed to bring him in on loan from Scunthorpe United. Decent mental attributes. He's not the quickest, but again, natural fitness is good. Very determined character. Defensive attributes, not the best either, but I think he will certainly get plenty of game time for us in at left back. This particular signing I'm very happy with. Jack Williams came in on a free transfer. He's the second Welsh player that we have at the club. 3 star of current ability with that potential. Again, very good fitness. Determination is good. Solid mental attributes. He's a decent finisher as well with a good first touch and technique. He can play central midfield where he's 3 star of current ability and he's the same up front as well. So we've got that versatility with him. We've largely brought him in to be covering central midfield, but again, he could end up being our first team striker. Millen Burnett is an 18-year-old winger, 2.5 star current ability on that right hand side, can also play on the left as an inverted. We've largely brought him in because of his pace. He is quite quick, good dribbler, very good determination, and a decent passer of the ball as well. Hopefully, again, he will come good. And obviously, he can come in on that right hand side. If Joe Collins leaves, Millen Burnett will be our first team starter on that right hand side. And again, only 18 years of age. And he came in from Hartlepool, where, again, for the younger side, he's played quite regularly for them. So that is something for him. Jack Williams, incidentally, came from Wrexham, played regularly. He didn't play a lot in there when he was at Vanarama national level for their second team, but for the when they got promoted to League Two, he played quite regularly for the reserves there, rated quite well, and managed to knock in a few goals as well. Abel Alabi is a backup centre back that we brought in. He's Irish, 20 years of age, 2 star of ability with plenty of potential, but his positioning is awful. But his jumping reach is good, his fitness is good, he's 6'4", heading, marking and tackling are very, very good, especially at this level, and I think he will be a solid player for us. In terms of his history, he hasn't played a competitive match really. When he was in Ireland, he didn't play a lot, and when he's been at Coventry, last season or two, he has come through into their under 18/under 21 side and played a good number of matches. So again, he's got experience at a decent level, and I think he'll be reasonably solid for us as a backup. We then brought in Matt Pearce on loan from Boston United. He's only 17, and again, he's got that potential. 2 star current ability, fitness is decent, along with his stamina. Fairly determined character, his teamwork and work rate attributes are excellent, and he's quite a good passer of the ball as well. And again, at that 2 star current ability, we brought him in as a little bit of a backup, but at the same time, he will rotate in reasonably regularly. He played out on loan last season, didn't make too many appearances in the Northern Counties East League Premier Division. And when he was actually at Boston United, he has played a few games for their under 21 side, but other than that, nothing too much to report. In terms of transfer outgoings, we have players released. We haven't actually sold anybody. But yeah, like I say, we did release 1 or 2 players, but obviously with Furtado and Collins potentially leaving for a total of £40,000, we are in a position where we could certainly um, be a bit more active just yet in the transfer market. I have struggled to find players of decent enough quality that will sign for a wage that we can afford. Some of the players that we've been looking at want nearly 150, £200 a week, and we just cannot afford that at the moment. So it is a little bit of a tough situation that we find ourselves in. But going into this season, apparently we're favourites to win the league. I just want a top half finish. It's our first season at this level. Hopefully we can give a good account of ourselves as we go ahead. This first game against Atherton will certainly find out how good we actually are. So in goal we've got Houston, we've got Hughes, Alabi making his debut at centre back with Payne and Simmons at the back. Wright, Pears, and Little in the midfield three. Pears making his debut there. King Phillips on the left, Collins on the right, and Williams up front. So two more debuts there as well. Collins remaining in the side despite that transfer offer. Hopefully he can go out with a bang and we can get a good start to the season. Again, I'm not too sure what to expect. Obviously, season preview says, excuse me, sorry, says that we're favourites to win the league, but I'm not entirely sure how we're favourites to win the league, to be honest. It's a bit of a strange one, but we'll just have to see how we get on. I mean, the players that we've signed have come from a decent level of football, even though it's largely been reserves, but we'll see how things go. So here is our first highlight at this level, and potentially for the opposition, but we have managed to win the ball back. Sam Wright into Hughes. Knocks it forward looking for Williams. Hudson clears, but Pears picks it up. Chance to play it forward, but just knocks it back into Hughes. Nice patient play so far. Alabi, he does knock it forward. Slight impatience from him, and it's easily cleared up by Hudson and Wilkinson. The keeper just passes it out to Grundy. Knocks it forward looking for Ridge. Alabi couldn't win it. And Ridge has managed to get the strike away, and it's a very good finish from Charlie Ridge. Houston didn't move. He should have done better from it, really. The shot didn't seem to have a lot of pace on it. But we found ourselves a goal behind here. Certainly not an ideal start. It was a reasonable enough strike, but I think Houston could have done better in goal there, really. And I'm not entirely sure what to expect, as I mentioned before, but we've had a good, strong pre-season, really. The first game we played was a bit of a heavy hit, but since then we've won all of our pre-season matches, including games against teams that were in our league last season. The likes of Ashton Athletic we battered in pre-season, so certainly signs to be positive, but obviously at a slightly higher level we can't afford to make any errors. But Collins has been played in here, and Carr did really well with the challenge, I thought, but a penalty has been given, and we have a chance here to get straight back into it, and it could be a debut goal for our new striker, Jack Williams, he's just dinked it. Very confident from him. A first goal of the season for us at this level, and it's come 32 minutes into our first game. Certainly can't argue with that. Granted, it's from the penalty spot, and we've not looked too creative so far, but positive signs. We are being competitive in this game. It's quite an even game so far. Atherton have done a little bit better going forward than us, but possession-wise, we're certainly holding our own. We've had plenty of momentum go in our favour, and at half-time, can't be too concerned so far. We're certainly looking good, and I'll just let the lads know we need to be a little bit better in front of goal. Obviously, the other issue we've got is not only was I struggling to sign players, I was struggling to sign players who have got experience as well. So we've got a very young squad again, and yes, it's a bit of a concern from my point of view, but we'll have to just see how things go. Um, but so far, not too bad here on the opening day. 20 minutes to go, still at 1-1, not too many highlights. Um, but we certainly have reasons to be positive out of this game. We've certainly been competitive, possession's good. We've created just as many, if not more, chances. Shots on target are the same for both sides. Um, but we have really pushed on in this second half. We've just not quite had it in us to push on for a win potentially. But we do have a highlight now. Here is Wilkinson. Just holds on to it. Jack Williams did press him a little bit there, and there was a little bit of pressure on him, but he's done well to find his man, and it's over the top, and Ridge is in behind again. We'd be very unlucky to lose this game, and Wright does superbly. The ball took a deflection and went over Houston, but Wright was very quick to react and managed to get it away. Here is Hudson into Jackson. Now Cushion into Jackson again, looking over the top. Payne does well to clear. Here's Carr. Pears couldn't quite get onto it, and Cushion's knocks it over the top, and Ridge is in again, and there is the winner. Charlie Ridge has scored again. We're going to demand more for these extra bits of added time. Matt Pears has taken a knock. Grindrod's going to come on for him. we are looking a bit tired here. First game at the new level, I think we've done all right. Yes, we've finished it in defeat in the end because of a last-minute goal. Um, but I mean, I'm looking at that. Williams scored from the penalty spot, but rated as 6.4. Everyone else was quite poor. Payne did reasonably well, but I mean, I'm telling the players it wasn't a very good performance. But I think, to be honest, if we had a few more matches at this level, depending on how things go, of course, I think we could have won that game. I think it's just going to be a case of bedding the players in a little bit and for them to get used to this level. But I think top half finish is certainly going to be realistic looking at that performance. Yes, we were unlucky to concede at the last minute, um, but looking at the quality of Charlie Ridge there, I mean, yeah, he's a good finisher, very determined character, and he's got a decent amount of pace, and our defenders aren't quick. So in that scenario, yes, he's done well to get a couple of goals against us, really. But I think we could be quite happy with that opening performance. Yes, a 2-1 defeat isn't ideal, as I said before, but we can hopefully build on that performance at least. Matt Pearce out for 3 weeks with pulled knee ligaments, not ideal. And obviously, our loanee getting injured early is not the way we wanted to start the campaign, and especially if we're going to be losing two of our key players in Furtado and Collins. But going forward, yeah, reasonably happy with the performance, but we've got a lot of games to get through. As you can see, August is extremely busy. We've got a game every few days, including our introduction to the Emirates FA Cup. It's an extra preliminary round. I'm not going to show it um, on in this YouTube video, but going ahead, we'll get a few games under our belt, see where we stand. We've got two home games at the end of the month against Cheadletown and Nelson. That is where we're going to come back for, and hopefully we can build on that performance. Because like I say, it wasn't too bad. The defeat isn't ideal, but overall, I think we can be quite pleased with that starting performance. There is going to be more transfer news going in toward the end of the month as well, obviously. I'm hoping Furtado and Collins stay, but the board intervened with the Collins one, and us being able to get £20,000 for Furtado as well. The board would have intervened anyway, but I accepted it straight up. Um, Initially, they offered 6,000, so to triple that and a little bit more, I think is a very good place to be. But we'll see how things go, and hopefully we'll have some more transfer news tomorrow, and we'll have a little bit of a better run in terms of our match results. So until then, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.